spokesperson of Greater Johannesburg region. We'd like to welcome you all to our first media briefing. With myself, I have the democratically elected ROB, which is Comrade Masilo, the Deputy Chair, Comrade Sasabona Manganye, the Regional Secretary, Comrade Lerato K. Bob, the Deputy Regional Secretary, and Maxwell Nedzamba, the Regional Treasurer. And today's briefing is to outline the key outcomes or the key discussions that we have held in our special REC meeting, and the Regional Secretary will therefore take us through those outcomes. Over to you, Comrade Sasa.
No, thanks very much, Comrade Mantombi, our regional spokesperson, and to the regional office bearers and the regional chairperson, the first female regional chairperson in her absentia. And a good evening to the people of Johannesburg and South Africa, together with all the media houses that are present here. The African National Congress Greater Joburg Regional Executive Committee convened a special meeting on the 26th January 2026 to assess the intensifying political attacks directed at the democratically elected leadership of the 16th Regional Conference, undermining the authority of branches in exercising their democratic right to elect their leaders. The REC expresses its profound concern at the silence of the PTT at a moment when counter-revolutionary forces are openly mobilizing to delegitimize the will of ANC branches and to destabilize the organization in Johannesburg. History teaches us, as Lenin correctly warned, that, I open quote, a lie told often enough becomes the truth, close quote. We therefore convened this media briefing to confront distortion with political clarity and organizational truth. Since its election, the REC has assumed the historic responsibility of reclaiming the lost ground in pursuit of the January 8 statement mandate to take decisive action to fix local government and transform the economy. This mandate is not abstract. It is rooted in the lived experiences of the working class and the poor of Johannesburg, who continue to suffer under the weight of governance failures, service delivery backlogs, and structural violence of apartheid capitalism. In its sitting, the REC soberly assessed the balance of forces and resolved that, in the interest of stability, continuity, and consolidation of the ANC authority in the city of Johannesburg, it was prudent for Comrade Dada Morero to continue serving as the executive mayor in the city of Johannesburg. This decision reflects a strategic intervention to strengthen political oversight, ensure disciplined governance, and advance service delivery without disruptions. The REC was taken aback after taking that decision by the conduct of the South African National Civic Organization, SANCO, our ally, which has chosen to publicly air unsubstantiated allegations against the ANC leadership in Johannesburg while posturing as a self-appointed defender of Comrade Dada, who is our deployee. SANCO appears to have forgotten that Comrade Dada is an ANC deployee, account to the people of Johannesburg, and also account to the African National Congress democratically elected Regional Executive Committee. As the oldest liberation movement on the continent and a principled alliance partner to SANCO, COSATU, and the Communist Party, the ANC affirms the historic importance of principled engagement within the alliance. However, we want to categorically reject any conduct that undermines organizational discipline, unity, and internal democracy through media grandstanding and factional alignment. The ANC Electoral Commission that presided over the 16th Regional Conference was properly constituted with NEC deployees to Gauteng represented by Comrade Sihle Zikalala and Comrade Mahlengu Mbembu. PTT deployees to Johannesburg led by Comrade Oscar Matafa and Comrade Andy Swamosai and Comrade Craig Cornish, and also alliance representatives including Sanko DPT Regional Chairperson Comrade Puseletso Nzimande, and of course also our leagues were represented in that particular electoral commission, and an independent elections agency appointed by the national structure as communicated by the Secretary General for the province and the region to choose amongst the three companies that the NEC appointed to manage elections. This process was inclusive, credible, and constitutionally sound, decisively refuting all insinuation of manipulation. The Secretary General, Comrade Fikile Mbalula, through the Provincial Coordinator, Comrade Hope Papo, confirmed that all matters relating to the 16th Regional Conference will be processed and finalized by Electoral Commission strictly in accordance with the ANC Constitution and Conference guidelines. The REC cautions against any attempt to delegitimize constitutional outcomes through commentary outside these established processes. In terms of Rule 14 of the ANC Constitution, authority over the internal elections, the supervision of the ballot papers, and the resolution of disputes rest exclusively with the ANC Electoral Commission through the Independent Elections Agency. No individual or a structure has the authority to bypass, override, or criminalize ANC political processes. The ANC is not governed by the police, nor will it allow state institutions to weaponize it in factional battles. It is incumbent upon SANCO to respect the independence and the democratic processes of the ANC. SANCO continued alignment with particular groupings within the ANC undermines its credibility as a civic organization and erodes the foundational principles of non-factionalism and unity within the alliance. The failure of SANCO to formally congratulate the newly elected leadership confirms a posture driven by political preference rather than principled alliance engagement. It must further be placed on record that SANCO has neither requested nor convened any bilateral engagement rather than commitment to rebuilding and reconfiguring the alliance as we have been seized with this. Of course, the Special Regional Executive Committee resolved that the outcomes of the ANC Regional Conference remains legitimate, constitutionally and binding. All disputes must be addressed exclusively through the ANC Electoral Commission. The regional office bearers are mandated to engage with SANCO and all alliance formation to safeguard and deepen our alliance as we reconfigure the alliance. The REC will engage coalition partners to withdraw the motion of no confidence against the executive mayor, Comrade Dada Morero, and should this not occur, the ANC caucus will be directed to oppose this motion and of course in working together with other coalition partners. Of course, we are confident that we will be able to ensure that that motion does not continue and we are able to continue to lead the city of Johannesburg as led by the executive mayor, Comrade Dada Morero. The REC will engage the PTT officials to urgently engage with our national officials to reaffirm the independence of the election of the ANC electoral from its Lekgotla resolutions which we have already communicated through our media statement, the era of hesitation, poor performance, and tolerance of dysfunctioning is over. We were mandated to act decisively, to govern firmly, and to deliver without compromising the interests of the people of Johannesburg. The ANC was built through struggle, sacrifice, and principled leadership, not through intimidation, abuse of authority, or the criminalization of the political processes. We remain unwavering in defense of constitutionalism, organizational sovereignty, and the will of the ANC branches. We call on all ANC members, zones, and branches to remain vigilant, disciplined, and united in defense of the ANC Constitution and the democratic traditions of our movement. We thank you.
Thank you very much, RS, for that detailed statement. Now we are going to take questions. We're going to have 2 rounds of questions from members of the media, but we're going to start with the first round, and I am noting hands. Please introduce yourselves, which media house you're from, and so you're going to be the first, the second, the third, fourth, fifth, and okay, that is it. We'll then come back in the second round.
Good evening. Thank you very much. My name is Sisanda Mboleko from the Sunday Times. RS, do you believe that the ANC can afford this level of mudslinging and factional divisions at a time where it's a crucial local government election year where the ANC is looking to claw back support in the city of Johannesburg? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sisanda.
My name is Silva Sibia, journalist from UFM. Looking at these allegations, is there any possibility that there could be a re-election of another conference again?
Thank you, Sylvia.
Samkele Maseko from the SABC. Just a quick one. What is the process of storing ballot papers? Do they become property of the ANC or property of the elections agency? Then secondly, on the issue of the 3 companies that were given to you as a province and as a region, signed off by the Secretary General of the African National Congress, did Luthuli House not do a vetting process of these particular companies, noting that there are allegations from the former regional chairperson in that letter of complaint that he sent? Then lastly, on the issues of the relationship of the REC with the former regional chairperson, how is that relationship, noting the reports that came out of the Lekgotla of a standoff between himself and some of the officials within the city? Thank you.
Thank you. Mudiba from the Inside Facts. I've just got 3 questions. Numerous sources have stated that the presiding officer was responsible for the elections, was followed around and put on surveillance just before his untimely death. Are you able to tell us whether you know whether that is true or false, and whether you know what was the cause of death? My second question: we've seen many conference disputes over the years, but none of them were ever referred to the police. Are you worried that your national, some within your national leadership have now decided to put the spotlight on Joburg and refer this matter to the police? The third question: do you find it suspicious that mysteriously there were any positioned at the scene at the exact moment of this so-called discovery?
Thank you.
Thank you, Modoko Mloto from ENCA. From what I heard, you seem to be pointing a finger of blame at Sanko. Do you believe there's anyone in the ANC structures who is behind all this and who that person is? You're also saying you are noting the silence of the provincial task team. What exactly did you want them to say? And given the fact that the ANC, Luthuli House, has said that they are investigating this matter, are you opposed to an investigation that would possibly come up with a conclusive decision? Because clearly there are questions that are hanging. But also, do you believe that all this has anything to do with the 2027 National Elective Conference of the ANC?
Thank you. You'll come on the second round. I had not noted you for the first round, so you'll come. We're still going to open for the second round. RS, hope you've noted all the questions.
Yes, no, thanks very much. Let me firstly deal with what Sisanda have indicated. In fact, the REC meeting, its spirit was that one of saying, how do we ensure that we work very hard to unite the African National Congress and the Alliance. And that was the mandate of this REC. And these office bearers have been given the responsibility to lead that process of ensuring that we unite the ANC. Because we are the leadership of the ANC in Joburg, we have that responsibility. As much as there might be comrades who have got their own grievances, which they have raised correctly internally with the internal structures of the organization, we still have that responsibility to unite the ANC, and we are not even worried about that because we believe it's a democratic right of any member of the ANC to raise issues when they've got issues that they want to raise. For as long as of the ANC constitution is very clear that when there are matters or disputes that are related to electoral processes of the organization, the elections commission must deal with those particular issues. And we are happy with the fact that even the Secretary General have re-emphasized that particular fact. The provincial coordinator have emphasized that particular fact, and the Electoral Commission has been given that responsibility to ensure that those matters are processed. Any other thing that happens outside that particular process, I don't think we are at liberty to want to entertain. The movie that happened in Pretoria, we're not going to comment about that movie that happened there. National, probably, and the province, they can comment around it because it has nothing to do with us. Our regional conference was properly closed on the 5th of December by Comrade Kumbuzo Nchabeni as the convener of the deployees of the NEC. And the additionals were declared the following day. So what happened there, I don't think it's our business. I think it's a business that the national and province will have to deal with. Look, we will want to send our condolences to the family of the presiding officer who presided over our regional conference, and may his soul rest in peace. And it is highly regrettable that unfortunately after his death there were those kind of incidences that have transpired, which were very regrettable to transpire in the manner that they transpired. And the worst part is, the ANC can do whatever it wants to do, but you have an ANC internal process being subjected to a media coverage. You want to go and get ballot papers. You must go and get them live on TV. You ask yourself, okay, so this movie was well directed. Because the movie started with Sanko doing a media briefing in the morning, which was very regrettable because normally Sanko, when it has issues, it will engage us. We'll meet, box it together, agree, disagree, and probably they can go out if they feel like we are not listening to them. But we are a new leadership, elected in December, we haven't met, but they were able to do such. Later on the day, Hollywood happened in Pretoria, so we can't, of course, comment much about that because we don't have the details and the circumstances that informed such an act that in the manner in which it have transpired. But what we can tell you is that it has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with our conference. If there is anyone who have a dispute, follow Rule 14. If you read Rule 14 of the ANC Constitution, I can assure you, you will not find any matter that has to do with that movie. So there were lots of regional conferences in the country, including in Gauteng. The question that you must ask yourself is, where are the ballot papers of those regional conferences? They are with the elections agencies. I don't think you're going to find those ballot papers in any regional office or provincial office of the ANC, because they must be kept by an independent body and safeguard them so that if there is a need for those ballots to whether recount or for whatever reason, they are in safe hands. So I don't know what was that movie about, because there was nothing wrong with ballots being in the hands of the elections agency. Worst part, that elections agency, none of us, whether the province or the region, played a role in their appointment. Whether they were vetted or not, I think it's a question that belongs to Litulia House, not us. Unfortunately, we can't be able to answer that particular question. Look, we have a relationship of a deployee and leadership with the executive mayor. I want to put it correctly. A deployee and leadership. What does that mean? And you know that Polokwane have dealt with the issues of two centers of power. The center is the African National Congress. So the deployee of the ANC implements the decisions of the ANC. So far, our engagement with the executive mayor has been characterized by such. And as a result, the media, reports that suggest that there are issues between us and the executive mayor, they are very regrettable, because even our Lekgotla never experienced such. For an example, Sanko raises issues about the city manager coming to present a report on the state of the municipal owned entities to the Lekgotla, of which we requested him as a professional who is an expert to understand that, because we want to professionalize the public services. And the presidential working committee appointed by the president and also the national treasurer raised concerns about even the boards of state-owned entities in the manner in which they are constituted. So we said, city manager, please come, give us an understanding what is happening there, so that if there is any decision that we need to take in the Lekgotla, it must be an informed decision that will assist the city of Johannesburg in the benefit of people of Johannesburg to continue. There is nothing wrong with that. I saw even the DA raising a red flag about it. In 2012, they invited Advocate Tulima Donsela into some DA women struck event for her to address them. And there was no any crisis about that. We can invite any professional in our Lekgotlas to assist us to professionalize the public service, but in the interest of the people of Johannesburg. And I believe that the city manager agreed to do it on the basis that he knew it will assist us in terms of assisting, benefiting the people of Johannesburg. And for noting, he's not even our member, he's not a member of the ANC, we must be very clear. He just came there as a professional, addressed and left. He didn't attend that Lekgotla. We started on Friday until Sunday. So that issue, I think we needed to clarify it. The issues between the executive mayor and the city manager, it's a relationship that I think the two of them, and the executive mayor, the city manager report to the executive mayor, and the executive mayor provide a political oversight and the mandate to the city manager to understand the mandate of the ruling party to ensure that we deliver services. I don't think they need to be friends. They just need to understand the fact that they need to work together for what? Firstly, the mayor is deployed for what? Secondly, the city manager is appointed for in the interest of people of Johannesburg. We are not saying they must go and have a drink after work somewhere in a bar and all that. No, but they must work together in the city of Johannesburg. But we did not experience things which they have been populated around the media in terms of the two and their relationship. Look, SANCO is an independent organization. If it allows itself to be used by people in the ANC, it's regrettable, because SANCO has a very key responsibility, even within the alliance, you know, as a civic movement, and we will want to believe that they are acting on their wisdom, we wish, and we hope, and we will not want to cast any aspersion into themselves. But of course, we are just worried with the posture that they have taken, which we think it compromises their standing in society. Look, we don't have an issue with any investigation. We have indicated that there is no where we are. There is no little house that is investigating anything. We have indicated, the Secretary General have confirmed with us that the Electoral Commission must deal with conference issues. That's how the ANC operate. If there is another different process in Little House, I think that we can enter. It's above our pay grade. You might have to visit Little House to check what is this that is being investigated. But we are comfortable with the fact that the process has been communicated to us officially. And of course, look, in terms of the PTT, I mean, the PTT officials are giving us a full support as the region since our election. The only limitation is that when we are attacking, the legitimacy of the elected leadership is questioned. It can't be us who must be at pain to respond and clarify ourselves. They presided over the conference, and we expect them to deal with lie peddlers in the media and giving you a wrong impression about the conference and what happened, and be able to clear the cloud, because you know you will want them to play that particular political role, and that is where we are saying that it is lacking. Where all these issues are raised, there is a process which they are supporting, and they will want that process to produce the result. But at the end of the day, they have a political responsibility to lead us. Our existence and mandate is derived from the Provincial Executive Committee, and in this instance, they have the powers of the PEC. So we expect that they must be able to give that kind of a support on issues of this nature. 2027. No, 2027, we're going to deal with it in 2027. There is no 2027 that is going to be entertained in Joburg. We are not going to even focus ourselves into such. If there are people who are obsessed about 2027, they must know that this leadership of Joburg is going to blue tick them. We are not going to entertain anything that has to do with 2027. The NEC was very clear. Let's not discuss issues of succession, leadership succession for 2027. We have a local government elections that all of us, we must invest our energies on to ensure that the ANC reclaim the lost ground. We can't be talking about individuals who come and go. You understand? We must talk about how do we want to change the lives of our people? How do we want to utilize the little power in a coalition that we have to ensure that we transform society, we change the lives of people of Johannesburg? And that is our preoccupation as the African National Congress. Colleagues, comrades here, they will assist if there is any question that they might want to assist with.
Thank you, RS. I think there are two questions probably outstanding. One on the vetting process. From
It's above our pay grade.
And the other question was with regards to the presence of a branch member and the NEC member in the Hollywood scene that you were referring to.
Yeah, look, for simple thing. We were not in Pretoria. We didn't sanction Pretoria. It was sanctioned by the Secretary General. The Secretary General will be able to respond to that, or the province. So the fact that there was Comrade Stan, it's the same who works in the office of the Executive Mayor, Comrade Adamorero there. I don't think we must account for that. We don't know why he was there. How did he know that there is movie happening in Pretoria? We can't enter there. I think it's a matter that the HQ will be able to clarify. I had a discussion prior to this with the SG, and we agreed that the Pretoria issues are issues that belong to Litule House and also Walter Sisulu House, not Connie Wapela House. So I think that is how those issues they can be attended to. So we can account for that.
Thank you very much, Arias. We are now going to go to the last round of hands, and I'm going to note the fellow that you start. Yes. Samgele. And that's it. Going once, going twice, so on.
Good evening, it's Alfara Mushwana here from Eyewitness News in 702. I've been partially answered, but I just want to know from you, Secretary, do you think this is some sort of a plot from those who are failing to, would you say that they are failing to accept the outcomes of the conference, that they lost and they want a rerun just to get a second chance at claiming victory? Thanks.
Thank you.
Alpha's covered my first question off. Do you think this is a case of sour grapes? Really, because I mean it comes at the back of allegations around money being used at the conference to secure this outcome. So yeah, and then in terms of the mayor and the city manager not working or having not met since he's been appointed, does that not concern you? I hear you saying that they don't have to be friends, they don't have to grab a drink after work, but surely a meeting should have occurred by now. And then with regard to the lack of support from the province or the PTT, what do you really make of it? What do you think is the reason for their not being as involved as they should be? Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you think some of your leaders are using the state to suppress dissenting political voice? Is the state being used to suppress dissenting political voices? Thank you.
Thank you. Those are the questions. Nobala?
No, there is no leader that is using the state in the ANC to suppress the dissenting voices. I don't have an experience of that incident since our regional conference, so there is no such that one will believe that there are those that are utilizing the state for any other reason. Leaders of the ANC, the organization of Oliver Regional Tambo can do such, can utilize the state to suppress any dissenting voices in the African National Congress. And one does not believe that such is happening. Look, I do not think there is any problem. There are clear disputes which comrades have raised. So they did not raise this thing in corners or gossiping. They raised them internally with the organization, and they cannot be constituted as if it's a plot or whatever. They have got their own concerns about whatever they believe in, and they must be given a fair chance, to raise those issues through proper organizational channels. That is our view. We must defend also their right as the elected leadership, because we want them to be satisfied so that they are able, to work with us in the renewal program of the African National Congress and rebuilding the structures. So we can't constitute them as if it's a plot because of there is this and that they are not happy about, And I mean, it's not like we are happy with everything ourselves. There are things that we're not happy about that happened pre and post conference, and we also have got a platform to raise those issues as much as they have, and we must also respect their right to do so, and we can't characterize them as people who, of course, look, media reports which were alleging that there was money utilizing the conference. It was not our own comrades who were saying that. It was somebody who was not even in conference. He was not even closer to any smoke that comes out of the conference venue. She was sitting wherever she was. Is the lady called, what is her name again? Oh yes, that name of a person. So she was, she did, look, remember prior to conference, she expressed her preferences prior to conference. So she was clear on whom she prefers. What happened to the conference? The results were opposite of what she preferred. What do you expect from a bitter person? Obviously, she will want to find an excuse to justify the pain she's feeling because people she wanted were not elected. And unfortunately, we have no responsibility to deal with her pain because she's not even our member. And I don't know why she enters our internal organizational processes, because the issue of who must lead the ANC is an issue of members of the African National Congress that they must decide, so that we take it from there. So I'm just saying, for us, we can't be worried about what Papano says. That is why in all the letters that the organization have, none of those letters talks about the issue of use of money. So there is no such. It was just somebody who is in pain, shame. We hope that she's fine now, that we are here and we are in charge and leading the people of Johannesburg very well. We did indicate that the PTT have been consistently supporting us. I think we must not misunderstand this. The only issue that we're worried about is the fact that on these attacks, they are not coming out publicly in our defense as the people presided over the conference. Doesn't mean they don't support us. I'm sure as you saw REC members leaving the meeting, I'm sure you saw about 5, if not 6 PTT members. So we will be lying if we say PTT doesn't support us. The provincial coordinator, we are in contact on a daily basis. That's how much they support us. The only issue was to say there are counter-revolutionary forces who are utilizing media to delegitimize the elected leadership, and we are lacking their voice to come out and clarify all these issues and all that. So that is the only element we are raising. But support, no, we have got full support that we are getting from them.
I'm sorry, I have follow-up questions. I know you did say that was the last
We're
one.
having a second. I'll allow you. It's okay.
I'm really sensing some element of contradiction here, Mr. Mangai. I mean, firstly, you were in your prepared statement, you were clear that, and I'm trying to quote you verbatim, but you can always go back and make a reference. You said the ANC cannot be governed by police, and somehow the state must not be weaponized. But then you are coming back when you are being asked whether you believe some ANC leaders are behind this, and you say, no, there's no ANC leader, there's no person who comes from Tambo's organization who can do this. Surely you gotta stick to one. Which one must we take? But also, you did say that in terms of the allegations regarding money that was apparently used in this conference in December, you are saying no ANC member has complained about that. Well, I was there when on the very same day it started, Mr. Dada Morero fielded interviews from the media, and let me remind you that it's not as if journalists raised the question of money. He started that thing to say, things are going well, we are ready for this thing, but our major concern is money. It was a doorstop. He was your chairperson at the time. He was a candidate. Surely you cannot say that you are not aware of this, because even in the media briefing that the first one after you were elected as the RAC, it was even before the additionals were elected. As office bearers, I for one asked you to reflect on that particular statement by Dada Morero. So I'm not sure when you say no ANC member has ever raised this, which then brings me to this question. Have you reached out to Dada Morero to say the allegations of money, do you have evidence in regard to that? But also, do you know if he is one of the people who complained to the upper structures of the ANC about the legitimacy of this conference?
Okay.
Can we take the last one, Nopala?
Let me
Instead
close this
you can-
first.
Okay.
Yeah. There is no contradiction. I said the ANC is not governed by police. I'm quoting myself. Nor will it allow state institutions to be weaponized in factional battles. Nowhere where I said there is a leader of the ANC who uses police. I'm making a statement that as the REC, we believe that there is no way the ANC will be governed by police. It's true, we are not governed by police. But police are law enforcement officers. If there is suspicion of criminality, you go to police station and police must do their work. So, there are no contradictions. There is no leader of the ANC, I still repeat, that is utilizing police for any ANC internal battles. So if there is a criminality identified and you go to police station, you are not using police to fight ANC battles. You are using police to fight crime. It's not ANC battle, it's crime. And the crime must be reported to police. Like crime of people bribing people using money for conference. You report it also to police, for police to deal with it. Unfortunately, I did not hear the interview, Muluk, of the former regional convener. But remember, we did a diagnostic assessment of the African National Congress. And in that diagnostic analysis, the element of the use of money in the ANC was identified as one of the problems. And I want to believe that Comrade Dada was speaking from that perspective, because I don't think he saw somebody having money, giving it to someone, bribing that person, because as a leader of the ANC at that time, I believe he would have acted on that particular issue. He wouldn't have just commented on media and leave it there. Probably he was giving you that analysis that we have made to say that there is a problem of the use of money in the ANC processes that we must deal with. And even in our report to the conference, we did raise those particular issues. So it was not about the fact that in the actual conference, there are people that we have witnessed exchanging monies. Because if that happens, we have a responsibility to deal with that particular issue. No one else will except ourselves. So I thought probably let me give it that particular context. So there was no need for me to reach out to him on the matter with the understanding that he was speaking about it from the characterization and the diagnostic that we have done as the then regional tax team going to that 16th regional conference.
Secretary, I understand you're trying to be very diplomatic in the way you're answering questions, but I too am struggling to understand some of the things that you are saying. I asked, do you believe that they are struggling to accept that they lost?
Oh, okay. You see, you are saying I must get into their minds and make an assumption about what they are raising. Let me tell you what I think. I think these are members of the ANC who participated in the 16th Regional Conference and who believe there are certain things that might not have been done correctly, and they followed a correct process of the ANC. They wrote to the ANC structures to say, please hear us out. I don't think it's bitterness and all those kind of things. They're just following the ANC process. By the way, it's only in Johannesburg that we are not in court for a regional conference. In other regions, they are in court. So if the comrades were that bitter to that extent, probably they will be in court. But because they respect the internal organizational processes, they raise their issues internal. And that is why I said, we also have a responsibility to defend them in the issues that they are raising, and they need to be clarified through proper organizational processes. And I've already indicated what is that process. It's defined in Rule 14 of the ANC Constitution, which is the supreme document that is binding to all of us. It binds even the very same national conference unless the national conference amend it.
Thank you very much, Nobala, for those succinct and clear responses. And that brings us to the end of our briefing session. Thank you very much.
We're asking for a one-on-one.